Every once in a while in comic books, you get to genuinely sit down and say, this is an archetypal matchup. Like, this is two characters that represent the absolute peak of a certain side of the conversation. And in this one, we have the fastest versus the strongest. In one corner, we have Fractured Son Hulk from Marvel Comics, and he will be facing Wally West, the Flash, from DC Comics. If Hulk and Flash, their current forms, were to collide, who do I currently think would win? I feel I'm perhaps one of the best to answer this question currently, so I'm going to do that for you. If you love battles like this, make sure to smash the like button, as well as there's a feature apparently for creators like me called the hype feature, where you can, if you're on your mobile app, you can hype this video. And this will help my video, if we get enough hype, go into the bigger algorithm and put me out there with the larger channels. So definitely do that if you love my content and want to support through free methods. Now, getting back on topic, let's talk about Hulk first. Fractured Son is an idea that's kind of an expansion on the lore created by Al Ewing with Immortal Hulk. That is, his ties are actually divine in nature. He is connected to the one below all. This has been added to by also including in the lore the Mother of Horrors. This is a being that even existed outside the plans and the divinity of the one above all. She actually fought the one above all, wounded him, corrupted him, made him stronger, thus forming the one below all. Now, the vessel of this power is the Hulk. He is the wrath of God. He is that anger of God, that corruption from the Mother of Horrors. But he also contains the God flesh, essentially the key, the flesh that is strong enough to even unlock the prison that can house the Mother of Horrors. It's insanely OP. It's why he can regen, why he has all those crazy physical stats and powers. This is literally the flesh of a god, right? Created by the Mother of Horrors. Now, with these two things combined, you have one of the absolute scariest units in all of comic books. We're talking about a being who took on Brother Deep. Now, Brother Deep might not have much lore, but the lore we do know is he survived a fight with the one below all, who was trying to erase him, trying to kill him. He was a pseudo one above all. And literally, Hulk put him on a t-shirt, no problem. On top of this, Hulk also put down Eldest, who makes Zarathos look insignificant. This was stated by the writer Philip Kennedy Johnson. You can go watch my interview with him, but he wrote both Zarathos' story and the Hulk story, obviously. And in that power level, significant power gap. And Eldest got one shot by a raging Hulk, who in that moment also broke the chains of the first firmament. What does that tell us? Well, it's pretty obvious. Hulk's ridiculous when it comes to AP. Like, the first firmament is essentially OG first multi-eternity. You know, we know regular eternity can do things like make deals with Toa, have avatars fight Oblivion, beef with a god, whole bunch of crazy shit, right? And this was the OG, the bigger one. Broke through that, right? Broken as fuck. Killed Brother Deep. Took on a conceptual being that could destroy the nexus of all realities. That used to be the measurement for how strong the Phoenix Force was back in the infamous Dark Phoenix saga, or as we call it, not the Nexus, sometimes we call it the Makan Crystal. The point is, it's one of the largest concepts you could destroy in Marvel. It's got planes of existence that even like raw narratives exist on, and he can destroy that. It's also, in terms of narratives, as we stated before, Fractured Son is a specific narrative, and it's stated by Eldest that this narrative will go on forever. It can't be infringed on, can't be impeded. It just is. Fractured Son is. He also, his gas tank's kind of weird. It's like, he can technically get worn out, but if you piss him off or motivate him, Fractured Son's just instantly powering back up. We saw this when he was being weakened and taken down by Eldest, but then he saw Charlie was in danger and immediately broke through and folded Eldest. Like, so he definitely has shown he can just kind of instant reboot if he really needs to. Kind of reminiscent of the infamous moment with World War Hulk where he instantly went back to form after getting lasered. So there's a bunch of shit this Hulk brings to the table. Also, if you go watch the interview, it's kind of implied Hulk was going to win versus current Thor, but the editors didn't want that to see that happen. But of course, if you want to discard that as headcanon, I'm fine with that. But regardless, we know his power source, we know his power level, and more importantly, he's done some crazy shit in his current Hulk run that has us putting him as one of the strongest characters in fiction. But that's strength. What about speed? Let's talk about Wally West and the Flash. Now, this is, and it's funny, I recently had a video where I talked about how people need to understand I've always talked about characters are too strong or like they've been made too broken. I've been complaining about this with Wally for a while. This is one of those where I was like, yo, I don't even want to touch Flash right now because what do you do with him? He's just too broken. Flash Wally West is significantly, I don't care what anybody says, significantly superior and buried in that he gets way more bullshit power-ups and moments. This is a character that can run outside of the story, run outside of all dimensions, time, space, run into the god planes and whatnot, which, granted, Barry and other characters could scale somewhat to some of those things pretty easily before. Like, you could make those arguments. The difference is Wally just keeps getting more extreme. On top of this, the Speed Force is getting more extreme in its nature. It's like essentially almost becoming unbound in the cosmology. It just keeps expanding, keeps going on. We've seen him literally with the Eternity Mine. This is something that stretches on forever, right? And when I say forever, it's a concept of forever beyond even dimensionality. He outran this. He just did. Blitzed it. One shot, granny goodness. Slapped the shit, rocked the shit out of Anti-Monitor. He's someone who can take on threats to the Source plus level beings, run along the Source, take on characters who can damage and scare the Source. He's someone who took on Eclipso, and now, for those before they try to downplay Eclipso, in the recent Darkseid run where Darkseid essentially became God, there was a moment where he faced Eclipso and he actually needed like prep and other circumstances to occur in order to beat modern Eclipso. So we can't sleep on the OG Spectre that is Eclipso. Wally also can multiply himself and make clones. He can turn into a statue when he slingshots through the Speed Force. Even Superman. Just straight up, if Wally's going too fast or if he's using the Speed Force too much, Superman can't catch up. It's just too far ahead. Even a weakened Wally was too fast for the likes of Superman to brawl with. It's just simply too fast. So in terms of literal speed, combative speed, and like where they can go, how fast they can move, how hard they can hit, all that, there's not many characters in fiction that are faster than Flash, genuinely. So that's what we have. We have the strongest versus the Flash, or fastest. Who would win if these two archetypes from different companies were to fight? Let's get into it. So, first of all, AP, pretty obvious to me. Hulk's got it. Durability as well. I just think Hulk's well beyond what Wally is someone that was taking hits from Brother Deep, someone who's a pseudo Toa, took hits from a being that could destroy the nexus of all realities, taking hits from Eldest, all these beings, and just shrugs it off, keeps going. So I definitely think he's, and granted Wally, a lot of things just can't hit him, but Hulk's tankier, hits way harder. That was going to be obvious from the jump. Now, in terms of speed, massive gap. And when I'm talking massive, I think we can all agree Superman's faster than Hulk. There's a significant speed gap between Wally and Superman. Like, basic lines of logic. Like, there's going to be a statue difference of speed between Hulk and Wally, which immediately launches us into the question: could Wally, even though he's way faster, will he have the gas tank and the AP or the means to get rid of Hulk? I'm going to get this out the way. I don't believe Wally is strong enough to put down Hulk. I don't think he has a way to permanently defeat Hulk. The next question comes, what's the next step? What's the next answer to that? Because I don't think Hulk can touch Flash unless he's absolutely out of juice. Well, what can he do with Hulk? He can, I think, off balance him at least a bit. Like, he could hit him a million times before Hulk knows what's happening. And if he can off balance him, he could knock him into something like the Speed Force. Now, would the Speed Force contain Hulk? Would it hold Hulk? That's the funny question, right? Because it gets a little tricky. I do fully believe Hulk has the AP to scale above the Speed Force. Like, he's stronger than the Speed Force. Fully have that belief. However, him knowing how to break out and doing so is very questionable. And the reason I say this for Fractured Son is Homeboy was stuck in the Nexus with Man-Thing, and he was ripping Man-Thing out, and he said, Hulk, no matter how strong you are, you don't know how to get out of something like this, so you need to talk to me. I don't think the Nexus is necessarily above Speed Force at all. So I think if he's put in that situation, he's stuck. Now, if you say BFR doesn't count, like him throwing Hulk in the Speed Force and calling it a day doesn't count, who wins? Well, at that point, I think you got to call it a stalemate. Like, Hulk's probably never going to hit Flash and just won't. If he does, sure, Wally's in trouble. But I don't think he will. Gas tanks should be comparable. Technically, I would lean Hulk there, but I do think he could just BFR Hulk. I mean, we saw him literally remove stuff from the source, like dark energy and power from the source, because it was scaring the source, and he can perceive that and move in the source, which is crazy itself. But perhaps he could remove the gamma from Hulk. I don't know. That's a little weird. We can get a little weird with this one, you know. Perhaps he could split Hulk. Like, there's a lot of weird shit Wally could potentially do, because there's a lot of stuff he can try, given he's so much faster. He's going to process his battle more than an infinite amount of times before Hulk knows he's fighting. Like, that's an absurd idea. So I think if you say any of them have to permanently kill each other, it's probably a stalemate, because if Wally starts getting tired, he can just get distance, regen his stamina a little bit, and then go again. You know, like, he could go to the bodega, get something to eat, and then come back. Like, he's that much faster. So at this point, it's like, okay, if they can't permanently put down each other, sure, let's call it a stalemate. But if you're asking me if we use other means of victory, you know, BFR, putting them in a place where Hulk can't do anything anymore, I would probably favor Wally at that point. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If this changes, when an Infernal Hulk drops or there's another update, of course, I will update the battle. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I had a lot of fun talking about this, and yeah, that is my stance on the fastest versus the strongest. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember, it's Yancey Street, bitches.